Hey guys, it's me Robert Flyingheart. I'm gonna do another video, this time on trans men explain male privilege. Let's watch, shall we?
If you
Alright.
don't think male privilege exists, you are wrong.
Okay, I'm a guy and I have privilege. Let's have it.
Gender bias is often ignored because it seems invisible and subjective to those who benefit from it. But trans men have experienced both sides of the gender-divided society, so I'm gonna
Lazy
explain
Green.
male benefit from it. But trans men have experienced both sides of the gender-divided society, so I'm gonna let them explain male privilege in their own words.
Male privilege is the bullshit idea that men are better than anybody else. Male privilege.
He sounded a little bit feminine, I think.
Gender-divided
Like rah, 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 rah. You know that a little loose jaw there.
society, so I'm gonna let them explain male
Okay.
privilege in their own words.
Male privilege is the bullshit idea that men are better than anybody else.
Yeah, we always say that because, we're fucking cocky as fuck. And we love who we are, We always fucking win. We're the guys here. We're the fucking kings of our fucking kingdom, bitch.
Which is the ability to move about the world.
And it's normal to have, competition and shit. And especially if you're in teams. And it's ladies versus guys, we will win. Or, and the girls will think they win. So it doesn't matter. But let's watch again. Let's go on.
Men are better than anybody else. Male privilege is the ability to move about the world in the way that you want to.
What kind of bullshit is that? So you can travel as a guy to wherever the fuck you want to go and not get bothered or by who or whatever. I get bothered a lot. Well, not a lot, but sometimes. Like I'm walking into a store and there's this fucking guy. Hey, you want something or you need something and that kind of shit. But hey, he's a salesman, so it's normal. I don't get what this person is saying, but okay, let me dive a little bit into this feminine side of this person. So he's saying we men can travel through the world without any bullshit whatsoever. We come across we come across many people, and when we go out and party and shit, hey, we stumble across so many people, assholes, nice people, all sorts of people, but we take them for whoever they are, We don't fucking judge constantly like you fucking guys do. But, okay, let's move on.
Experience of being left alone.
This person looks a little bit feminine.
About the world in the way that you want to.
It's the experience of being left alone and free to be yourself.
So we are being left alone, but you're not being left alone as a girl? If people bother you in any way, shape, or form, you have your own female privilege to say, no thanks, or go away, please, in a nice way, because you girls fear, that we're gonna go fucking crazy and ape shit on your ass. But we decent guys never do that shit. But you got your ladies. But stay alert. Anyways, some guys are fucking crazy indeed. So keep that fear. Okay, that's healthy for you. But yeah, you have the female privilege to say fuck off, or if you're in a group, like, sorry, I don't care. Go out of my face. Thank you. Okay.
It's also like the absence of experience. As a man,
What?
I'm free to be yourself. Privilege is also like the absence of experience.
Absence of experience.
And I have the privilege of getting on New York City subway train at 1 a.m. and don't have to worry about a man wagging his dick at me. That is.
So there are people on the New York subway waving or wagging their dicks in your face. was this when you were a girl or whatever? Really? Well, if I have to think about this now, there are a few, there are a few articles on social media, on Facebook, for instance, that I come across a few times. Now, there's like maybe a month or maybe 2 months ago, there were like a few immigrants on the train, jerking off. Yeah, nice, huh? They were fucking jerking off on the fucking trains, while the other person was sitting next to them or on the other side. Was like, or like that, the other side, like there, like these fucking guys are fucking crazy indeed, and they need to be fucking escorted out. But these people have no fucking manners whatsoever, because here in our society here, we are all raised in a decent way. Most of us, anyways. Some people are being fed with racist shit from when they were young to an adult age. But that shit happens. But anyways, let's move on to this video here. But yeah.
No privilege that subway train at 1 a.m. and don't have to worry about a man wagging his dick at me. That is a male privilege that I like.
So that's a privilege to not have a guy's dick in your face. I still don't get that. Like, who the fuck does that, right? Only here in Holland, we have a name, like a word that's swaffelen, right? And this word was word of the year, like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I can't remember. But this is like a funny thing, like you can rub your dick against something as a male, and that's actually a male privilege, to have a dick and rub your dick against an object. Or there are some gross videos out there that are like you have like a roommate, and then this guy was laying on the couch. It's fucking gay, but anyway, this fucking guy was laying on the couch, was sleeping very calmly. It was so nice. And then this fucking roommate started rubbing his fucking dick on his forehead or some shit. It was so nasty, but this was funny. But but anyways, yeah, no one will ever fucking wag his fucking dick in your face on a train. If I were near a girl and a fucking guy did that shit, I would talk to this fucking guy to put back his fucking dick in his pants. And I don't know, if he started to resist or some shit, I would probably punch this fucking guy. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe there are I would look around, if there are cameras and shit, or I don't know. I'll see what happens, but that's not fucking normal. Let's move on.
The first time I noticed I had male privilege was when I was walking home from hanging out with a bunch of friends who happened to be women. They had expressed being a little worried about walking home in the dark, and while I was walking...
And you should be, on your toes when it's dark, because, in the dark, shit happens. And even as a guy, there's not much of privilege when you're with girls in the dark, because you as a man need to fucking protect these ladies from being hit on, maybe raped or whatever the fuck. Yeah, it depends on what kind of alley it is. And as a guy, you always need to be on your toes, because you need to fucking scan constantly for whoever the fuck is around you, because it might happen that there's a little group who wants to fucking beat someone up when you're out with your friends, and they will kick your ass for no reason at all. And these immigrants like that. They like to punch a fucking white guy sometimes, and sometimes they get killed in the process. And then we hear it on TV here, like, hey, there's another guy got punched in the middle of the night while they were having fun and shit. This stuff happens here, and it might happen in the U.S. as well. So,
that I had
but it's not a privilege in that sense, okay?
Being a little worried about walking home in the dark, and while I was walking,
I don't get this. This guy is like dancing, like he's that's very feminine. I think you're a fucking guy now. Act like one.
I realized that I had no worry in the world about being talked.
You have no worry in the world. You're a guy now. You're not invincible, dude. You're a guy now, and now you need to actually step up even higher. When you were a girl, no one would care. No one would dare to touch you. But now you're a guy, and now every fucking guy is scanning. And you know, if they're like watching your girl or a bunch of girls you are with, then you need to be the guardian of them, sort of. Okay? You need to put up your fucking shield for shit that might happen. So you're actually in a very, um, in a very high position in that sense. So that's not very good. If you think as a transgender guy now that you're fucking safe, fucking forget that. And for those girls who think that you're gonna transition from a girl into a guy now that you're safe, guess again. Because we guys, we look at you as a guy, and if we see any fucking pussy-like behavior, we will fucking beat your ass, okay? It doesn't matter. You're actually a victim now at this point, okay? So we're gonna beat you up, and then we're gonna do whatever the fuck we like with you and to your little friends. That's how guys roll, okay? That's how we roll. It's just simple. It's just like it's survival of the fittest. You know, you die or you're gonna
Or
flee or whatever.
Or followed or assaulted.
So a man could just walk down the
Being talked to or stared at or followed or assaulted.
So a man could just walk down the street and no one is going to bother him. No one's going to
Not true.
him to smile.
We guys get approached by weird people, especially at night, and there are some creepy things that happen at night. You get junkies sometimes in parks, and you need to walk through these parks. And you can always be grabbed from behind and get fucking stabbed just because a fucking guy wants your fucking money. This shit happens all the fucking time, dudes. Ladies that want to be a guy, okay? Think about this before you go to the next phase into a guy, okay? I'm not telling this for talk a little sense into you, ladies who are thinking about going into the transgender phase, thinking about going into transferring into a guy, okay? You are more vulnerable to violence, okay? As a girl, you are actually privileged to have protection from us guys, that you won't be bothered. But if you have no guy friends near you that won't help you, and personally, I think there are lots of pussies these days, lots and lots of pussies, guys that don't fucking fight whatsoever. They are fucking scared of every little punch they get. I've been in fights, in brawls, maybe small brawls, big brawls. It's just you have to roll with the punches. It's just how shit goes. As a guy, you need to be fucking tough. You cannot be a fucking pussy, okay? This is keep this in mind, ladies. If you transfer into a guy, there is not much privilege actually. Okay, we need to work hard, ladies as well. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that we need to do. Okay, so think twice.
Or followed or assaulted.
So a man could just walk down the street and no one is going to bother him. No one's going to ask him to smile. No one's going to ask him where he's going. No one's going to ask.
We never ask someone to smile, and we don't ask a girl to smile. If you are a girl and hey, you smile or you don't smile. If you like a person, you smile. If you don't like a person, you don't fucking smile. You have the privilege to say fuck off, go away, I don't care. That's your thing, okay?
If he's mad.
That's not a reason to go into to transfer into a guy. What kind of bullshit is that?
No one's going to ask him if they can walk with him, but this is something that I know women experience every day.
Post-transition life, my God, walking down the street is so glorious. I can actually think. First,
So now that you're a guy, you can think? What kind of bullshit is that?
I've experienced male privileges on social media. I've always been the type to express myself and talk real crazy. And when I did it prior to transition, it wasn't okay. But the minute that I
There's a little soft voice, I think. Sounds pretty feminine.
transitioned and everybody looked at me as that male figure, it was like, oh man, that's hilarious. I'm like, hey, guy, I've been hilarious all this time. So what are you talking about?
An unexpected aspect of male privilege
This guy, it looks really feminine.
for me
Transgender.
was being taken away.
Talking about.
An unexpected aspect of male privilege for me was being taken way more seriously than I was before, and
Well, that depends. So you were not taken seriously when you were a girl. That's because you get surrounded by people who don't give a shit about you, maybe. And that's, girls are mean. That is just a fact. Girls are mean. Or you have a nice girlfriend group and you're, you like each other. I don't know what you ladies do over there in your groups, but, you ladies know it, so.
because I have all the same ideas, still thinking about the same things, and yet sometimes I would literally just be talked over or laughed at. Now people will often quiet down.
and having experience
Yeah, well, that's because we guys don't talk that much. So you really don't get talked over much as well. So sorry to say, that's just a fact. We guys talk less than girls. Girls talk like what is it? I don't know the numbers, but it was like 3,000 words in a minute or whatever. and us guys talk like I don't know, like 1,000 or 1,500. I don't remember, but it was something like that. Like way less words. We're not talkers, okay, ladies. And if you like to talk, you should not go into a transfer into a guy, okay? If you like talking way too much, don't be a fucking guy, okay? Please don't.
that from both sides of the spectrum, as female and male, I call bullshit on that right now.
Male will often quiet down.
And having experienced that from both sides of the spectrum, as female and male, I call bullshit on that right now.
Male privilege and sexism isn't just a problem for women, but it's also about liberating ourselves. Masculinity is very diverse. Masculinity is what it is to you. You don't have to be a brute. You don't have to be an athlete. And my masculinity looks like a man who likes puppies and babies.
That's very feminine. I can go along with kids pretty well. But that doesn't make me like them or love kids or whatever the fuck. But this is very feminine, dude. You should cut that shit down. You should cut that shit out.
Masculinity is very diverse. Masculinity is what it is to you. You don't have to be a brute. You don't have to be an athlete.
And then this person goes like, very feminine. Like, which fucking guy does that shit?
He looks like a
Get the fuck out.
who likes puppies and babies.
Puppies and babies. Very feminine.
Nothing wrong with that.
I was in the club this night, and my brothers are.
And then this guy, or girl guy, goes like this, little beers.
I think it might have been single ladies. Something came on. I'm like, oh, the single ladies. Oh, the single. And they.
Beyonce.
You're a man now. Men don't wild out to Beyonce like that. And I said, but it's music.
Yeah, but this is a fucking song for girls, okay? Don't you fucking as a guy now, you should not dance to fucking Beyonce.
There's no one way.
It's a fucking feminine fucking song. Oh, the single ladies. That's fucking gay. Justin Timberlake's danced on that song with this fucking thing on. That was pretty funny. That was funny, but that's not normal. Okay.
Yeah, man. There's a spectrum.
I said, but it's music.
There's no one way to be a man. There's a spectrum of masculinity and.
No, that there are a few ways to be a man, but it depends. Is it manly or not? And we decide as real men.
Be chill.
You cannot, as a transgender, you cannot mold your own idea. I think it's like you're gonna be a guy, do guy shit, and don't be like I'm gonna be half a guy, half a girl. That's not fucking. That's not a real. You're not a real guy then. Okay, so make up your mind about that. If you like, maybe you have to make a list and just check it off. Like, okay, I like more girl things than I like more guy things, or do I like more guy things? And as a girl, that's fine too. But the thing is, we guys fall for girls that look like girls. But if you look like more like a guy, then we don't get turned on that much. So we leave you to the side. We leave you to the left, to the left, to the left, like Beyonce said. Okay? So, that's just a fact. Let's move on.
Of masculinity and just like
this person has like a few tattoos on the arms. I don't get tattoos are fine, and on girls they look great, and but you don't get to be a fucking guy just because you have tattoos. Okay? For some girls, that's very attractive. But I personally don't give a shit, and I have my own tattoos in a different way. But I ain't gonna show that shit here.
Be chill.
That's my story.
If a guy wants to really understand male privilege and understand what it is, talk to women.
Step back.
Talk to my men. So, okay, this person is talking to his transgender guys. But guess what? We guys don't talk that much, and we are not gonna fucking ask you, hey, how are you? If you're a girl, and it's different, okay? We're gonna ask you, if you're a girl and we are interested in you, we will talk, okay? And we will be nice. But you're a fucking guy, so we don't give a shit. You have a dick, or I don't know, maybe you don't, but then again, you're a transgender, so we heterosexual guys are not into transgenders. Maybe some are, but that's a very vague line now, because you transgender people are choosing a path to surgery, and that's like changing your identity and making the line very vague for us guys, and that's messing a lot with a few people's minds. Some people get tricked into a situation, and I've heard a few. Like I was with this fucking with this girl, and I was laying in bed, and then the dick went out. Okay, and yeah. And I saw a little video a few days ago with this. There was this British fellow. He was and he had like two roommates, and this guy was in his room, and then there was loud noises, and they were arguing and shit. And this other roommate was throwing out this transgender girl, apparently, but it was the day after. So they already had sex with this transgender, right? And so he fucking pushed this transgender out of the fuck up, blah blah blah. It was a total mind fuck for him. So it was pretty funny. But let's move on.
Listen to what other people are going through. Ask.
Okay, we guys are open to every story and all that shit, but we're not really gonna ask, okay? Because we don't fucking care, okay?
What they're going through, and I think you'll see.
We're not like, how are you, baby? No, okay?
The world doesn't run.
We are a nice, like, hey, how was your day? Oh, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Like that, yeah, but no.
exactly the way you think it does.
You're doing nothing wrong by having privilege. It's just what you do with it that matters.
It's nothing. It's not wrong. So we have privilege, but it's what we do with it. So, but are we doing everything good for you? Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. So I'm gonna end it here. I hope it wasn't too long. Uh, um, Subscribe to my channel. It's down here. Look at my last videos. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.